Do it. You can still do it. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's still going.
Alright, so I think this is episode 17 of the podcast. 17 sounds right. Sodium Smashers rolling deep tonight. Steve-O, Cooper, Josh is here.
Sup?
We just saw Venom.
Venom.
Dude, alright. So sick movie. Dude, I think it was a sick movie.
That movie was legit as fuck.
A lot of comic references, bro.
Dude, see,
oh my god.
My Venom comic knowledge isn't as deep as other characters. Like, now I have to, really, dive in.
They stuck to, one of Venom's most popular storylines, and I think they did a really, solid job of executing it.
Awesome.
And, I'm a solid Venom fan, and, they fucking kicked ass with this.
Yeah.
So, great job,
Dude,
in my opinion.
Tom Hardy killed it, bro. He's mad funny.
Yeah. I think he did really well.
Dude, he's like, oh, what is wrong with me? When he's throwing up in the toilet.
I like how he portrayed the whole schizophrenia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feel and having people look like he's on drugs. You know? He was acting like that. You know?
Yeah.
And it was crazy the way he portrayed it very well like that.
Yeah, it was a realistic until the shit starts coming out of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, schizophrenia, that's what happens to you. Is that's just chattering and that's just a lot of chattering going on, and you have no recollection, and you can't separate that because it sounds as real as everything else around you. And even something minor like that, it's if someone's tapping their foot in a silent room all day long, is the one thing that'll ever annoy you in that room is that tapping fucking foot, and you would want to put a nail through it.
Yeah, I wish that shit was rated R though.
Dude,
show a little more gore.
Yeah.
That's Venom.
It really could have been rated R. This movie, yeah, that would have.
He was just biting people's heads,
They could have had him doing some gnarly shit, ripping their spines with
it.
Yeah.
I do like that he bit people's heads off.
That was his thing.
But yeah, but they should have. Yeah, if it was rated R, they could have.
That's how he lives, pretty much.
Yeah,
you know? Even in the game, back in PS2. For him to keep going, he has to keep eating people.
Right.
So that's part of the game. It's a Spider-Man game, but you can play as Spider-Man or Venom. So Spider-Man, you're always saving people, and Venom is the one he always goes and eats people to get his energy back up.
Dude, this movie really did feel like
it was a normal superhero movie. You know what I mean? It was
they made it a superhero. Did you notice that one reference when he said, "All right, well, let's save the planet"?
Yeah.
Made it seem like he's a superhero.
At the end, he was seeming a little hero.
He's kind of an anti-hero.
He is an anti-hero.
The way Venom works is if there's money into it, he'll do the job.
Yeah, it's just to get his.
That's the whole thing with symbiotes too. Is Venom. If you go back to the deep comic lore, Venom was the first symbiote, and all the other symbiotes were cuttings from Venom. And in the symbiote world, the first is always the weakest link. It's always the loser. And Carnage is, if they go Carnage, first off,
they're definitely doing Carnage.
Yeah, they're doing Carnage. Spoilers are totally cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's gonna be nuts. Riot as well. Riot was a Gen 2 or 3, and still way stronger than he could ever be.
Riot looked badass in this movie.
Yeah, what was in that fucking drink, dude?
That was.
I was just drifting off.
I think it was pineapple.
Dude, alright, so one thing that stuck out to me was, so when she picks up, Eddie Brock and she's taking him to the hospital, and he's, explaining, what Venom is to his girlfriend or whatever, to Anne, I think her name is? Yeah. Annie. Yeah, he's, explaining the megahertz, the sounds, and she goes, oh, so that's, his kryptonite?
Yeah.
So
it almost made a Superman reference.
Yeah, well, that is a Superman reference.
The kryptonite doesn't it's not a real element.
Right. So they're saying that
DC's a movie.
DC is there's DC movies or comics in that universe.
They do have those, don't they? Like
Crossovers?
Spider-Man, Wolverine mixed with like Superman and Batman or something.
They
like
exist.
that.
Yeah, where
they're not
Wolverine
super-
got fused
it's
with
not-
Batman.
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That happened too.
Yeah,
that's a
that's
whole
fucking
series where
awesome.
like they fused superheroes.
Yeah.
But there are other, I forget what they're called, but like yeah, they meet up. DC and Marvel meet up.
But that'd be pretty cool if they make something like that, or at least lead to it.
Dude, speaking of leading to things though, like alright, so I'm like a little interested in like I was waiting for some kind of like, alright, I'm coming for you, Spider-Man. Like I wonder how they're gonna transition into Venom and Spider-Man being enemies.
Well, Eddie Brock and Peter Parker, they were in high school together, so that's how they come together.
That's how it goes down?
Yeah, like you remember back in the old like Spider-Man movies,
Spider-Man 3?
like you know the basketball scene.
In Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire?
He's in all of them, I think, actually. Let's say for the first scene, like you remember he had the ball in his hand and he couldn't get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was playing with one of them. That's Eddie Brock.
Best friends back in high school, and then he left.
That's Eddie Brock. That's Venom.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they always reference him somewhere.
Yeah, Eddie Brock is always in high school with Peter Parker.
Dude.
And that's
Yeah,
what.
every
That's right.
movie.
They even mentioned he left New York City.
He calls him Eddie.
New York City to San Francisco.
Right.
The kid that was beating him up and shit.
Right,
That's
dude.
him.
Like yeah, with the lunch tray and
Yeah,
shit. Okay,
yeah.
all right. Wow. I just,
That's how they
I'm not fresh on
coincide.
those.
Yeah, that's how they coincide.
What I thought happened, like in the comics, like Eddie Brock was like supposed to be like the astronaut. That's what I thought. That's how he got his.
That was one of the original
that's how I
storylines.
thought, like,
I think
he got his-
that's Agent Venom. That's
he goes,
Anti-venom?
He goes to space.
Agent
Oh.
Venom.
He gets Venom, and then when he
Yeah.
comes back, that's.
oh.
That's one of the earlier storylines.
That's what I
and,
thought.
like, they
that was
did.
like, yeah.
That's
They did an
that's
animated
that's
series
Flash
on that,
Thompson.
too.
That's not Eddie Brock. But like he gets
also different.
they get the symbiote too because he goes to space and then
Okay,
comes
so
back.
then he's one of the ones.
Yeah, and then he becomes like Agent Venom.
Okay.
But he still has the Venom symbiote. It's not a different symbiote.
Yeah.
Let me see which symbiote is it.
Some
I'm
of the
pretty sure it's the
like-
same one.
As I was saying earlier with the symbiote and their generation stages, like each one, the host body has less and less actual control and communication with their symbiote. So like Brock communicates really well with Venom, and that's like when they're talking about the compatibility, and like how some of them had a lower time range where like they would connect with the person and the person would die within like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it's the same Venom.
It's like
Word.
So Venom leaves Eddie to go to Flash, and Flash is the veteran guy that becomes Agent Venom.
Word.
yeah.
Dude,
But he's badass, so you should look him up.
dude, so, I will. Like now I'm realizing
Yeah.
like the whole symbiote lore is like something that I never like. I kind of grazed over that shit.
Like you say, there's millions.
Right.
Like there's a lot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a lot of main character symbiote.
The ones that come to mind are like to me are just obviously Venom and Carnage,
Mhm.
and then Riot, and I'm thinking Scorn and Agony, the female ones, and anti-venom.
Mhm.
Those are the ones that are coming to mind.
Hell yeah. They all threw a little sneak peek of all that. Which is pretty cool.
So
That I'm excited to see. 'Cause
So
that'd be fun.
when Annie like notices that Venom is in the dog, and then she takes the dog and she takes Venom and she goes finds him in the woods in the movie.
Mhm.
Like for a second I thought that was Scorn, but like that's not Scorn.
It's not her, but it was like I feel like that was almost like the reference.
right,
point, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Trying to like throw that in there.
All right, word. Okay.
That'd be clutch.
No, because when that happened, you were like, oh, that happens in the comics.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like that, like almost imaged. Well, whatever
Yeah.
her fucking name is.
Because now she has a
Word,
taste
right.
of that power too.
Yeah, no, because the silhouette was like, oh, I was like, that's Scorn, but no. But,
No, it's dope. Can't think of what else.
The other thing I was just gonna say, like, Woody Harrelson is confirmed Carnage, I guess.
I hope so. They better. Stick
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
like that was pretty nuts. Like that's a big star to like step in the post-credit scene.
And he's
I
always
told
a good
you.
role.
Yeah,
player.
I said the movie was really good, but once you see that freaking part, you're gonna be like, no way, Carnage. Like,
I think I
Because it
knew.
looks like they have plans on like like definitely making all maybe all the symbiotes. You know what I mean? Like all the main ones.
Dude, like that's
like,
really
There's
and-
still
and,
more
like,
symbiotes.
Yeah.
There's like 7.
I have like that whole like universe now, the whole symbiote universe.
that is so cool, dude.
You know,
But Venom fucks with Wolverine in the comics. And stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
he's an anti-hero. That's what he is.
Right, right.
Like when it comes to money, he'll do jobs like that. You know,
Word.
and that's why he's a bad guy because he does illegal shit because of that, and he eats people to live. You know, so that counts as a
That's how,
villain.
that's how he thinks.
You know, for eating people.
I just feel like now with like
He's kind of like Spider-Man's Punisher.
right, yeah, yes. He even
He
looks like a
is, yeah.
Spider-Man and Punisher combination. Yeah.
Which, two of my favorite characters to put in Strike Force right now. So, OP build right there.
Dude, so I think more than ever, it just really seems like we will get like an X-Men and other Marvel heroes crossover movie one day. Just like with Avengers and Thanos, just like, you know, swinging his dick around, like it just seems like, and now the symbiotes, like that whole lore has opened up completely, like.
Yeah, because I was getting people like into it now. Like there's more than Venom.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like Venom's like the popular one. You know.
Right. Yeah. This definitely is introducing a lot of people to like the symbiotes for sure.
Yeah, Toxin, Hybrid, Scream.
Scream.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Scream.
Dude, another thing that really stuck out to me, obviously, is the post credit scene. When they show us that clip from the Spider-Verse movie coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so my main question with that is, all right, so it's post credits, and then they hit us with, it says, "Meanwhile, in another universe," and then it shows us that scene.
Yeah.
So like, that right there is confirming that the movie universe and and I guess the Spider-Verse universe, they're
all the multiverse.
They're all
Spider-Verse. They're the
multiverses.
Spider-Verse. That's what it is. And it makes sense because if they added that specific wording, so then they got to think about it, like the new Spider-Man, our Spider-Man, is an alternate universe. By saying, meanwhile, in an alternate universe.
But like, is
Marvel,
our Spider-Man like
our Spider-Man is part of a multi-universe of Spider-Mans.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, think about it this way with like the wormholes they were opening up. Like that same similar thing has happened because of introductions from like the crazy fucking scientists, like the original Thor movie when they created the like not the original Thor, the second one when he fights the Dark Elves and he opens up the portal. Like they do have the available tech in Avengers.
True.
Like so, the fact that they can merge all those universes, they actually have something to back it up with, and the like they're building this thing like to be solid.
I would
And-
hope so.
But all right, so like we all agree that Tom Hardy and Venom and what's fucking Spider-Man actor Tom
Holland.
That's the same universe. Like yeah. So I just think I really hope we see Tom Hardy versus Tom Holland.
So,
Imagine if they have this
Tom on Tom.
Yeah.
Tom on Tom action.
battle with the Avengers.
Battle
Yeah.
with Tom.
Because that would be the case, then this Venom is a future then.
This Venom is the future.
Yeah. Because Tom Hardy, he's old. There. Yeah, and Peter Parker is young.
Well, that would make total sense unless they're just like kind of rewriting Venom origin in the movies.
Yeah.
They probably won't fuse this Venom with the new Spider-Mans. No.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think they'll infuse that. I think they'll probably make.
I mean, if they do, then this movie takes place in the future.
It could
After
be
everything, after Infinity Wars, after all that
It
shit.
could be like the
maybe
original
that's when
Hulk.
you see those superheroes when he's like all going around killing people.
That's a really good point. He's fucking wreaking havoc, and there's no superheroes are showing up.
Yeah, and symbiotes were a thing already because that guy bought those symbiotes.
He bought them.
Yeah.
No, he's the one that got them from space.
I thought he found them in space.
Yeah, well, he knew about them.
Collected them.
Yeah, he knew about them. So the symbiotes were a thing already.
Right, but like, see how like, all right, so we know like one symbiote origin as like them all being a part of Venom, right?
Yeah.
And like, it seems like in this movie they have already changed that. It seems that there's just a bunch of different ones in space somewhere. It doesn't seem like they were all part of the same thing.
That's probably where he split up in space.
Yeah, why did he need Venom? Did you realize that, Riot? He was looking for Venom to make sure that he was on the rocket with him. You know what I mean?
That is what was happening.
Yeah, because he said, get on the rocket. Like, why does he need him? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but then maybe it was the whole part with the fighting scene when they intertwined together.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like the only symbiote that can.
He's the original.
He's the original.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Venom is.
So that's why they need him,
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
and it made Riot stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he's a key symbiote.
Venom is able to go into other multiple hosts. That's what he's able to do. He's able to jump.
And the other ones can't do that.
Nah, not as well as he
The host
can.
will die.
Yeah.
Word.
The other ones they get a host and they stay in that host. Venom is the only one that can jump around in different hosts.
Word.
But he just coincides with Eddie Brock a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Word, because Eddie Brock just happens to be like a dope match. That's
He just liked them more.
Word.
That was
you,
it.
Eddie. You.
That symbiote that was walking across Malaysia. I love that. I love how they had the symbiote like travel all the way across the world, and like that was a great example of his power. It was like you're like, where the fuck is this thing going for the whole movie? And
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like in the streets of like China or something.
No, San Fran, right?
No, but like
Malaysia.
before that.
Oh, before yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny as hell. But even the intro credit scenes too, like the intro trailers. Like we had Captain Marvel show up. That was.
Yeah, we got to see trailers for Captain Marvel and for Shazam.
It looks like it's gonna be fucking hysterical.
Shazam does look very funny.
Yeah.
We gotta check this shit out.
And Captain Marvel looks promising as fuck, dude. That looks just like another great chapter of like the Marvel universe.
Yeah, another good addition.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a good. I think it's gonna be like a veteran movie kind of.
Yeah.
Cause I saw like the military shit in there. They were mentioning a few times.
Dude, see, but here's another thing that is like leading me to think X-Men and regular MCU is gonna cross over again, because, all right, so the last X-Men movie we got was.
I think it was like.
It was.
They rewrote the past.
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
They keep coming out with movies,
Sorry, yeah.
and I can't tell which is which.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that.
The last X-Men movie was Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse, whatever. It was like, it was when Apocalypse tries to fucking steal, he tries to change his body. He tries to fucking,
take over Professor
X's body.
In Egypt, where he's stopped by a Dark Phoenix, or the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, and like we find out that like he's like the first mutant ever, basically, and.
Yeah.
But
well, he was triggered by technology in the comics.
Besides all that, what I'm getting at is that movie ends with, it seems like the next X-Men movie is going to take place like in the 90s, because at the end of that movie you see them all and they're like in like these 90s style costumes.
Oh, the yellow and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Jean Grey's young as fuck and Cyclops is young as fuck. So it seems like the beginning of like the animated series era.
Mm-hmm.
So like
this is their world building right now.
Yeah.
Like they're preparing to bring that world into the greater MCU.
Because that's the Wolverine.
that's
I feel like
exactly. And that's the Wolverine who eventually joins the Avengers, sort of, at like, sometimes.
I feel like 10 years down the line, we're going to have, like, the most epic, like, battle royale of superheroes.
Yeah, such a mix.
No, but this is what I'm getting at. This is how I think they're setting up.
It's a 5-hour-long movie.
The next X-Men movie definitely is going to be in the 90s. And I know that it's confirmed that the Captain Marvel movie is going to take place in the 90s as well. So, like, it's lining up.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be so cool.
It's cool to go. I want to see like Captain America and like Wolverine, like World War II.
Yeah, dude.
Like during that whole scene.
That's Captain America
that's
and
a thing.
Wolverine.
That
That's a big thing, dude.
Yeah.
They do some crazy shit. That's also one of the best episodes of the cartoon, where like, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Wolverine is like he visits Captain America's grave or something. Yeah.
Then he's like he gets a flashback about the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That episode was fucking insane.
Hell yeah.
Wolverine is just like, he's just a legendary character. There's no other way to describe it. He's just
Legendary superhero.
the dude is
Spider-Man, like that's that crew. You know?
I like how he did like Logan, and it was like this is like way in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Way in the future.
Yeah.
I feel
Professor.
like that was like an add-on to me. You know what I mean? Like that was,
I know what you mean. Seeing Professor X like have these like seizures and kill people because like he can't control his power, like that was just
That's
crazy.
him getting old. That's life.
That is life.
You know what I mean?
But that was just a very that sits with me. Like when I go back and think of like, whoa, that's Professor X.
But
like,
you gotta think about it too. Is because he's like human.
yeah,
I mean, so this whole time they were all living, being discriminated about being mutants and shit.
Now you guys,
It's
you
like
guys
in the
said,
day they're all humans.
you guys said something about the Venom and Wolverine.
no, I just know that
Were they together at one point?
I just know their paths cross.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like positive like on if there's like a whole series about it and shit. But I just know I've seen them together. But
I can't remember anything.
which speaking of Wolverine, hold on.
What you got, son?
He's going to transform into Wolverine.
Those are legit.
Shut the fuck up. Yes, dude.
You look like Wolverine.
That's why he was growing his beard. Yo, we need those, you know?
Yes, yeah, I may or may not be Wolverine for Halloween, but I think
Those
that
are real, bro. You could really kill somebody.
dude, you could, but like
What are you doing?
because they're not sharpened. They're not sharpened.
I can be sharper
But you
than him.
can.
I got
No, you
guidance.
can't. Yeah, this looks like a kitchen knife. Yeah, but all right, let's inspect these. But I think we'll end the episode there, though. That's a good spot to end the episode.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of shit to look forward to. A lot of speculations to be made.
Yeah, if you want to do more like comic shit like that, review like superhero shit, we'll definitely do some more of those.
Yeah, let us know, dude. Check
Yeah.
out the other episodes where like we do this, where we come back from the movies and talk about how dope the movie wasn't. In this case, this one was fucking sick.
Word.
Yeah, I was very satisfied with this movie.
Yeah,
It's
movie.
definitely spawned like a new. Yeah, I'm gonna read more Venom comics now and get way up my Venom knowledge.
Word.
But yeah,
I'm gonna go slay some people with these.
please be safe. Yeah, people are getting sliced tonight. All right.
All right, wash your hands.
Yep.
There's bronchitis out there.
Yeah, there's mad bronchitis in these streets, yo.
Some bronchitis.
I had to level up. I had to level up. They talking down on me, and they is under me. I had an epiphany. It turned me into a G. I remember back when it was 09. Obama, everything was fine.